Spoken word 5. You were offended because you put your trust in man. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in man. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in princes. Psalm 118 verses 8 and 9. Early in life, I took pride in the fact that I had certain well-to-do relatives whom I could count on for financial support, particularly to advance my schooling. Sadly, at the point when I needed their support the most, they disappointed me. The experience was so distressing that I could not eat and sleep properly for 2 days. My heart was broken in a big way. I never really understood all what happened, but I just encouraged myself and continued. Fast forward a few years later, I was reading through the introduction of a book on my laptop, and God used it to address this issue. It mentioned why many are still angry and complaining bitterly against some people who have disappointed them even after many years. They looked up to them, not to God. Immediately, this incident of my heartbreak came to mind, and God connected it to this statement. The reason why I, Hope, was deeply offended was that I was looking up to man and not to him, God. He never taught me that. The inconsistency of men are clearly spelled out in Scripture. Putting our trust in people can leave us deeply disappointed in them. Dependence on man is strongly discouraged by Scripture. Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 5 and 7, Psalm 118, 8 and 9. Our help and security should lie in God. He will certainly use others, but the people God uses are to be vessels and not our security sources. God should be our ultimate security. He does it in a way that we have no room to glorify men but Him alone. This lesson is important because a number of people are holding grudges with their parents and relatives because they felt abandoned by them. They are not our security sources. Let's learn to forgive any evil but disappointing benefactors and benefactresses. Rather, be grateful for the lessons learned through the process or other initiatives we embarked on after that. I am glad most of my relatives, including myself, cannot boast that it was by the strength of man I have achieved all that I have today. God used others I least expected and would not even consider at first to offer the very timely help I needed. One big surprise the Lord gave me was a scholarship that catered for my second, third, and fourth year fees. I will never forget the excitement that accompanied the call that I had been granted this scholarship. I was walking through the busiest student area in my university called Mecca Road, and on hearing the news, I became so loud that the other students passing were wondering what was going on with me. For me, what else would I have wished for? I knew what God has done for me. I can say He's faithful. He's worthy of my full trust. God can remove anything that is becoming our source of security other than Himself. When that happens, our initial response is to get angry and offended. But let's adopt the right attitude towards God and those people. Let's continue to count on Him, not the strength of man. For reflection, recount times you counted on people who disappointed you. Are there people you are still holding in offense because they were not there for you? How can you look at what's happened in light on what you have learned and move on? Amen.